You think that something inside you is broken. It hurts all the time, but it's not too bad. A feeling of not being good enough. You look out at the world and see other people moving with such surety and confidence. They look like they fit. They know the rules. They know what to say. And you, it seems like you're reading from a different page. You feel things too strongly. You see things that aren't meant to be seen. You can feel the currents that run beneath the surface of conversations, the unspoken worries, the hidden motives, and the quiet desperation. And you take it all in because you feel it. You take it on. And you start to think that the world's problems are your own. This is the main source of your pain. The idea that you need to be fixed, that you would be worthy if you could just be a little less sensitive, a little less you. You would be complete. You would be at peace. You always feel a little insecure, like you're a problem that needs to be fixed or a bug in the code. You say you're sorry for being alive. You get smaller. You try to fix the parts of yourself that are actually your best gift, because the world has told you they are a flaw. But look at the world that gave you this diagnosis. Look at the people who said you were wrong. What do you really see? You see a world full of people who are asleep, a world built on noise, show, and the desperate need to stay away from the truth. You can see that some people are very afraid of silence. They have to talk, gossip, complain, and make digital noise all the time. They talk about people they will never meet. They whine about things they don't plan to change. They disagree about things they didn't think of themselves. Their lives are a show for an audience that is only pretending to watch. They follow shadows. They want people they don't respect to like them. They pursue things that make them feel empty. They chase job promotions that make them feel dead inside. They have confused doing things with having meaning. They have confused loudness with truth. This is the normal world, the set world. It is a world full of deep hypocrisy, a world where people say, "How are you?" but don't wait for an answer. A world where they talk about compassion, but only do things that are good for them, where they say they are unique, but dress, talk, and think in perfect, terrified uniformity. They are sleeping. They are all having a nice, shared dream, and they are very, very angry with anyone who tries to wake them up. They asked you to play this game, the game they made you play to punish you. And then there is you. You gave it a shot. You really did. You put on the masks. You learned the words. You tried to win the prizes they were giving away. You tried to make sense of their noise. But the outfit never fit. The words always tasted like ash in your mouth. The applause never felt real. And so you started to back off. Not in loss. Not in giving up. But in a clear way. You stopped talking to people who were just waiting for their turn to talk. You stopped going to places that made you feel small. You stopped trying to explain yourself to people who were determined to get it wrong. You turned into the quiet one, the person who sees, the person who watches from the edge. You are the only person who can sit in a room, completely quiet, and not feel weird. Instead, you feel full. You are the one who walks in nature and feels a deeper connection than you ever did in the crowded rooms of men. You are the one who hears, not just the words, but also the spaces between them. You hear the pauses, the things that were left out, what the soul is trying to say, while the mouth is saying other things. You no longer need to be seen by people who can't see. You don't need to be understood by people who have never met you anymore. You have taken your energy away from their world. You have taken it back. This retreat doesn't mean you failed. It is the first conscious act of keeping yourself safe. This is the start of your awakening. You are no longer playing along with them. You don't judge yourself by their broken rules anymore. You don't ask yourself, "What's wrong with me?" anymore. Instead, you ask, "What's wrong with them?" This calm stillness you are creating is not empty. It's a group of people. You are getting stronger. You are taking back the parts of yourself that you were told to throw away. You are becoming everything that isn't you, so you can finally be who you are. You are not broken. You are starting. You have to get rid of the old definitions before you can start. People have given you labels your whole life. People have told you that you are too sensitive. You are too much. You are too quiet. People have told you that not being able to fit in and be happy is a sign of failure. They called you broken. They said you weren't good enough. They have used polite clinical language to make your very being seem sick. You need to know that these labels don't mean you have a disease. They are a confession from them. When a consciousness that works on the surface level, like performance and noise, meets one that works on the deep level, Like authenticity and silence, it only has one tool, not understanding. A lower level of awareness cannot, by definition, understand a higher level of awareness. Someone who is numb does not see a feeling person as deep. They see them as sick. Someone who lives in a comfortable lie doesn't see a real person as true. They see them as dangerous. Your depth is not a problem, it is a danger. It is a danger to their carefully built, fragile world. Your simple, quiet presence and refusal to join in on the group lie act as a mirror. When they look into your eyes, they see how shallow they are. They see how well they did. They see the emptiness that they work so hard to hide. They have to call you broken because the only other option is to admit that they are the ones who are shallow. If they don't say you're too sensitive, they have to admit that they're the ones who are numb. This is not a mistake. It's a way to stay alive. They are making your strength into a disease so they can keep their own lies safe. What they think of you is not the truth. It's the sound of their own fear. It is the desperate, defensive cry of a world that is terrified of what you stand for, the chance to wake up. So, let's get rid of their names. Let's put them in the fire. You never had them in the first place. Let's talk about what is true instead. Let's look at the things they called your weaknesses, flaws, and inadequacy, and give them their real names. People told you these were your flaws, but they were wrong. These aren't your problems. These are the 7 signs that your empathy is a weapon. First, your sensitivity is how you see things. Because you feel things deeply, they called you too sensitive. You are not too sensitive. You are finely tuned. In a world full of noise, you are a high-fidelity instrument. You don't just hear the words, you also feel what they mean. You don't just see the smile, you can also see the tension in the eyes. This isn't a flaw. It is a kind of advanced perception. It is a tool for making things clear. It lets you feel the storm before it rains and the lie before it is even fully formed. Don't say you're sorry for being clear. 2. Your anxiety is an allergy to lies. They called you anxious or insecure because you don't like the shallow, showy things that people do in society. This is not a problem with society, though. It is a normal reaction to an unhealthy environment. Your pain doesn't mean that you're broken. It means that your spirit is healthy and is rejecting things that aren't real. Your soul can't breathe in a fake world. This anxiety is your internal compass, your truth detector, telling you that you are surrounded by things that aren't real. 3. Your loneliness is a forge. People called you antisocial or lonely because you need time to yourself. You don't go away to sulk, you go away to think. You are not antisocial, you are social in a certain way. You don't feel alone when you're alone. It's not empty, it is a forge. It is the holy place where you turn the messy, raw information you get from the world into wisdom. You need to be by yourself to hear your own voice and separate the noise of the world from your own truth. This isn't a retreat, it's a time to recharge. 4. Your depth is a refusal of the trivial. They told you that you can't let things go and that you live in the past. This is because you don't just look at the surface of life. You are not made for small talk. You don't just move on when something happens. You try to figure it out. You want to solve the problem, not just get away from it. You respect the true weight of what happens. You are not stuck. You are thorough. This refusal to accept shallow answers is what makes you real. It is the anchor that keeps you from getting lost in the waves of public opinion. 5. The intensity of your presence is like gravity. They said you were too intense. They told you that you make things heavy. This is the case. Your simple, real presence is heavy. It has weight. In a world where people talk without thinking, your realness has weight. You mess up their performance just by being there. Your silence speaks more truth than their empty words. They feel awkward around you, not because you're doing something wrong, but because your realness makes them feel real, and they're scared of it. This weight is what gives you strength. It is what gives your words meaning when you choose to speak. 6. Your pain is your guide. You feel the pain of other people and the pain of the world, and you thought this made you weak, codependent. But this is where you get your ability to tell right from wrong. This is your radar. You can't be fooled by fake charm because you know what real pain feels like. Big promises won't work on you. You don't judge someone by what they say, but by the subtle, broadcast feeling of their soul. You can tell the predator who pretends to be a savior. This empathy is not a weakness, it is your strength. 7. Your inadequacy is a divine discontent. This is the most important thing. That feeling you've always had, that feeling of being broken or not good enough, that constant ache that something is missing. This doesn't mean you failed. It is the most obvious sign that you are aware. It is your soul's deep and holy refusal of the shallow, numb, and empty life you were told to want. It is not a lack of ability. It is the call of your own bigger destiny. It shows that you are alive, awake, and made for more. This is the truth, and this is the way it shows. You need to know that this path is not easy. The world doesn't get any easier just because you have these new names and this real diagnosis. It gets harder in a lot of ways. This is the price of the reframe, the price of real sight. The world of sleep won't be happy that you're awake. They won't be grateful that you saw through their act. They don't stop playing when you do. They just think you're a bad sport, arrogant, cold, and someone who thinks they're better. When you set a limit and take your energy away from their constant noise, they will call you selfish. If you don't join in on their gossip and complaints, they'll call you weird. They will call you an enemy when you speak your quiet truth in a world full of loud, comfortable lies. Using this power, this weapon of empathy, will make you hard to understand. It means that you will often have to walk alone. You will sit at the world's feast, and you will be the only one who knows that the food is bad. And when you don't eat, the other people will look at you with anger and pity. Why can't you just have fun? Why do you have to mess everything up? This is what it costs to stop lying to yourself. This is what it costs to be the only one awake in the room. You can't find comfort in the shared lie anymore. You have to find your strength in the truth that is only yours. You used to think that being alone meant you weren't good enough, but now you must accept it as proof of your honesty. It is the mark of your true self. So, this is the time. Let this be the big change. Right now, I give you permission to stop. You don't have to say sorry for being deep anymore. You can stop thinking of your sensitivity as a disease that needs to be cured. You don't have to fix the most original and powerful parts of yourself anymore. You can leave conversations that make you feel like you're stuck in a rut. You can leave the room if you want. You can let down the people who want you to wear the mask and the people who need you to be small so they can feel big. You can believe your anxiety when it tells you this isn't real. You can honor your intensity and refuse to get involved in the small things. You are not broken. You are like a finely tuned instrument, and you now know what your purpose is. You don't need to fit in. Your goal is not to be normal. You are meant to be the one who sees, the person who feels, the person who knows. Your job is to be the truth in a sea of performance, and that's the end of your journey. If this path back to the truth speaks to you, please subscribe and turn on notifications so we can keep going on this journey together and learn more. For now, just be quiet. Know that this is true. Feel the old labels fall off of you. The not enough, the lack of security, the mistake. Let them go away. They are nothing. They are the ghosts of what other people can't do. What is left is you, the real you, the person who sees, the one who has always been there, hidden by the noise, the silence, the deep, the real. You never needed to find the strength you were looking for. It was the thing that people said was your weak point. It's your compassion. It is your understanding. It is what you see. You are not broken. Finally, you're awake. And in this stillness, this quiet acceptance of your own deep power, you are home.